Hi everyone, welcome to Precious Years, and it's been such a long time. I think I should introduce myself. My name is Saida and I have two girls aged 7 and 8, and in this channel I try my best to share our homeschooling journey with you guys and a little bit of mom life. And today I'm going to talk to you about Bookshark, and if you're interested, please stay tuned. So last year we used Bookshark for our science and history level 2, and today what I wanted to do is share with you guys how it was for our family. Now, as homeschoolers nowadays, we're very fortunate to have so many curriculums available to us. And more often than not, it's not the curriculum, but it just doesn't fit the lifestyle of our family lifestyle or the students or us as teachers. So today what I wanted to do is, instead of sharing with you guys what I loved about Bookshark, well, I will do that, but I will share with you guys why it worked for our family, and in hopes that it would help you kind of understand if it would fit your family dynamics. So saying all that, Bookshark is a Charlotte Mason inspired curriculum. So what does that mean? That means that it is very heavy on books. Reading, readers, read aloud. And the spines are more usually, really nice Osborne books, or they're spine, but it heavily depends on the readers and the read alouds to kind of really go over the concept in depth. And that's something that I really liked, and that's one of the reasons I sought out Bookshark, is because of that. I love the Charlotte Mason philosophy. Reading has been a big part of our, me raising my kids, and in the early years when I didn't even know I would be homeschooling, that is one of the things that I really enjoyed with my girls. Last year was a very busy year for us, so even if I wasn't able to kind of do all the activities or do a lot of the other things, I always knew that I had time to read books with them. Whether it was the afternoon or at night, it was very flexible to kind of fit in that reading, and I really enjoyed that. And my girls really enjoy that too, because it's a nice way to kind of just cuddle up and read together, and it really is something that we look forward to. Now, saying all that, there were days, countless days, that my mouth was fluff dry, and it's mostly because my kids don't enjoy audiobooks, so it's always me talking and reading to them, and so that was one of the little it's great that I was able to read that much to them, but at the same time, yeah, it was kind of like a little dry or whatever. So yeah, but we really enjoyed the moments. We would read during breakfast time, we would reread during afternoon, and we would read during bedtime, and it was really something that we really treasured, and that was really the main reason I even sought out Bookshark. Bookshark is a very open and go curriculum, in my opinion. It comes with a lesson plan that's mapped out for 36 weeks for 4 days a week. But what I really liked about it is that even though it schedules out everything for you, the books you should be reading, the number of pages you should be reading, the questions you should be asking your children after they read it, but it's still pretty open and go, as far as if you feel like you've paused, as long as you kind of flag it, you can kind of pick that back up. You're not so rigid that you have to get it done in a certain amount of days. It's 36 weeks, 4 days, so you have the flexibility of adding another day to complete it. So I really enjoyed that, because we took the full advantage of it, and it actually took us, I think, about 40-ish weeks to finish the curriculum, because there are certain days that we just read a lot, and there are certain days we kind of took our time. So yeah, so although it's really planned out for you, it's still something that you can kind of pause, and you don't feel so overwhelmed. Now, one thing is that it comes in a really big, thick book binder. It's like this thick, seriously. And at first first week or so I was getting a little apprehensive of looking at that because it's so thick, that you feel like it's kind of like daunting. So what I did is I took it to a Staples and then I had them coil bound it, and so it became like this big each one, and which was fine because they're just really front and back, one sheet per week. So it's not really that much, but their binder is just so huge. I guess maybe it's good if you have like multiple different levels, but for me it was just too big. So that was one thing, and I coil bound it and then it was fine. I also planned digitally, so a lot of it I just kind of, at the beginning of the week, I would just kind of type it in as far as the questions I need to ask and all that. So it worked out really well for me. Myself, it was really good for me that it was mapped out for me everything, because last year was one of the first year in my homeschooling years that I've like worked a lot on, you know, some of the things that I'm interested in, aside from homeschooling. And that took away a lot of my time, so I didn't really have that time to plan and, you know, look through Pinterest and figure out books to get, and, you know, so it was really nice that it was all planned out for me. It had, you know, fables, it had, you know, various different types of literature. So I really appreciated the lesson plan part of it, because I didn't have to spend the time, because it takes a lot of time to create a comprehensive lesson plan like Bookshark. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably would have seen that I used for our science a lot of Waldorf inspired way, as far as the way it was presented. I took what Bookshark had, but I kind of like put my own twist to it, as far as like, you know, we would focus on certain topics, and then my girls at the end of the week would kind of draw of what they learned, and then they would do a narration. With the narration, what I did is I took the questions that Bookshark's printout had, and it's really small. Like, I mean, that's one of the other things that really worked well for us, is that my youngest daughter is just kind of, this year she kind of progressed into her writing. It was kind of very minimal writing, was really good that my daughters enjoyed that, and I enjoyed that, because for me now at this phase, I don't think whether a curriculum was successful, whether my kids are learning, is no longer about filling out worksheets, but more of the concept that they're retaining and that they're talking about, and, you know, that I see them learning and growing from it. So that's what that matters now. So I really appreciated that part of it. But for you, maybe, you know, it's different, right? So at this phase, that's what I appreciate, and I love that it's not so heavy on writing and all of that. But it makes sure that it reinforces that they understand the concept of what they're reading. Although Bookshark is, you know, even though I said it's all mapped out for you, I think it still provides a flexibility. I was able to take their science and kind of pull apart certain topics that I was interested in and do those first. So instead of starting with human body, I started with our year with the seasons, the weather, and it was still okay to do that, and I was able to still maneuver throughout and, you know, focus a lot on what my kids were interested in that time, and it worked out really wonderfully. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that science has been a hard thing for me to find that my kids enjoy, and my kids enjoying something is really important to me, that we follow a curriculum that my kids enjoy. And so this year it was really big hit with our science, and I was able to pick and choose, and that I like that it allows that kind of a flexibility. And like I said, you can go open and go. Now obviously with this history, you can't, I mean, ideally you wouldn't want to kind of skip because it follows that kind of timeline, so you don't want to skip things, then you'll miss out. But you can still, you know, pause and then restart, and it's still like nicely planned out for you. And I really like that it wasn't per date, but it was week 1, week 2, so you can, if you miss, you know, your certain week, then you can just pick back up, and I really like that, and that really worked out well for us. The other thing that I really enjoyed is that it exposed my kids to great literature. As a mom and being a protective mom, I'm always thinking whether my kids are, at that level of their, age to understand topics, if they're able to understand things. And I always want to shelter them from the negatives and, the things that, in the past that happened that might, I don't know how their little heart would take it. And that's just my feeling as a mom. But I really appreciated, but I really appreciated that, and that Bookshark kind of took the time to kind of curate. Bookshark offers a curated literature for your children that really grows their mind, and it allows them to think not just in the box but outside of the box and see different things and expose them through the literature to see the world outside of what we see nowadays. And I really like that, because there's certain books I don't think I would have picked, like The Whipping Boy and The King of the Mountain. There are a few others that I don't know if I would have picked, but I'm glad that we did, and that my daughter was exposed to those kind of literature. Saying that, one of the things that I love also is that although it comes, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, you are able to customize the readers. My then 7-year-old, now 8, was reading well above her age level. So what I did for her was choose the advanced readers. And my youngest daughter, who was 6, now 7, just went along with the level 2 readers, because the level 2 readers go through like Frog and Toad, and then it slowly progresses into like, there's level 4 readers into mini chapter books like Nate the Great and a few others. But whereas my oldest one, she read a lot of good literature like Frindle, a lot of the books that she read she really enjoyed. And so it takes a lot of time and effort, because I've done it in the past, to kind of find good books for the kids to read, and then the read alouds, and it takes a lot of time and effort. And so I really, it was a time saving that even though I didn't plan it, I had everything kind of ready for them, so I felt less guilty. And and the girls really loved what they read, and that was like the bonus, because like I said, we're like a book family. Actually, my husband is not so much of a book reader, but my oldest and we love books, both. I'm thinking, what is it that didn't work, that I didn't kind of like? So initially, when I was looking for Bookshark, I was a little taken back by the price. So I was so excited when Bookshark, wanted to partner up and offer us the curriculum, because that was the curriculum that I wanted. And I was like, it's a little bit. But after going through the books and, preparing for this coming year, I realized that it takes a lot of time to find books like that, and that many books, to, have so many books as your, to supplement with. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort. Now thinking back, I think that the cost that they have is, justifies what they offer, because they do really offer a very good resource for you. If you love books, and if that's the style of teaching that you want to use, then what they offer, I'll link my unboxing video, you will see how many books and the timeline and the supplies that I got, that because it was already ready to use. I didn't have to go out and grab anything. Even for a science, basically the supply box included everything. So I really liked. That was the only thing that I would say that I thought initially was negative, but even that kind of justifies itself. We had a fabulous year, even though it was through a little bit of ups and downs. But I really am glad to have Bookshark be my like the second hand as a homeschool mom, because it kind of math and writing and reading, those are things that, you know, kind of comes naturally, or you can navigate through without even like really big plan, because, you know, kids can, but, you know, history and the readers and the science, you really have to plan it. And so that's why I was really grateful to Bookshark that, you know, it just kind of it was perfect for our family last year. So that's all that I can think about. If you'd like any detailed information on any of these, I know there's a flood of flooding of Bookshark videos on YouTube, so I don't really want to bombard you with another video unless you